Hey, back in with another editing walkthrough on how I turn this image into this using Lightroom. So, firstly, I selected crop and adjusted it to how I liked. Then I straightened it slightly. Next, I selected masking and then objects and just brushed over the car. Then I noticed I'd missed out on the spoiler, so I added a new object mask and selected it. I then duplicated and inverted the mask to select both the car and the background separately. I then brought the highlights down to remove the harsh reflections, the shadows up, and the contrast up slightly. I then selected the background layer, brought the exposure down slightly and the shadows up slightly. I then created a new mask where I brought the exposure down, the highlights down, the contrast up, and the shadows up slightly. I then went back and made small adjustments to the previous edits I made, just slightly adjusting each bit. I then duplicated the background mask, created a minus linear gradient downwards, so just the ground was selected. Then on this new mask, I brought the highlights down, the exposure up slightly, the saturation up. Then selected the point color tool, selected the grass, and adjusted just to make it look a bit more natural and how I liked. Then I went back to previous masks and adjusted the saturation to make the colors stand out more. I then created a new mask which was a radial gradient and I selected around the car. I then inverted this mask so that the background was selected, not the car. Now what I'm doing is bringing the exposure and highlights down and the contrast and shadows up slightly. Now I'm creating a new mask which is another radial gradient from the top right. I then angled this to make it look like natural lighting pointing on the car. I then adjusted the exposure and made it a bit brighter, and then just adjusted the mask to make it look a bit more natural. I then hid and then unhid the mask just to see the effects of what that mask has really done. I then went down to the color mixer and made the reds pop out a bit more. I then did the same with the yellow and greens. I then went to color grading where I adjusted each part individually and made the image slightly warmer. I then added some vignette as I wanted the darkened surrounding of the image. I then added some dehaze clarity and texture to my image. I then quickly had a look at all the edits I've done and was seeing if I was happy, then pressed share and export, custom settings and saved it. So here is the before and here's the after. Thank you for watching and I hope that helps.